Hey folks, it is October 28th, 2025, back here at Boardwalk Hall. Sort of a chilly Boardwalk Hall. If you can see this thermometer, it says 58.8 degrees, and that's because they're getting ready for Disney on Ice. So they have to cool the building down quite a bit in order to have the ice stay ice. Otherwise it would be Disney on slush, which actually I think would be more entertaining, but I don't think anybody else wants to see that. Anyway, people have been asking for an update about what's been going on with the organ up here. I was here in July for a car show, but I didn't have time to make any videos. So since my last update video, I guess, was in January when I brought up those reeds for the choir coming through and did a little update then. Let's do an update now. You guys asked for it, and so you're going to get it. Here we go. Let's see what's gone on in the past 10 months. So up here in the enclosed choir division, if you remember on that January update, I had those 2 ranks of trombas in my van that I brought up, and the other high pressure reeds hadn't come in from Ohio yet. Well, they're all in, and you can look down there. You see the trombas with all their like tuning flaps facing forward, the 2 ranks in back of the brass trumpet there. That's what Nick was unpacking in that video, and there they are, reinstalled. And the I believe the 8-foot tromba is in back here, and the 16 4 tromba unit is in front, I think, if I remember correctly. And so the 16-foot bottom octave of the tromba goes back there. You can see that one, and it goes out. And then the rest of the 16-foot tromba is behind that melodia base. And it must have been fun to install when it was originally put in here, because they're back here. Got the camera almost up against the ceiling. It's kind of hard. I can't even see what I'm doing really. But there's a pipe with its tuning flap there, and it goes down into the main floor level like that. So the very bottom of that one is hidden behind those pipes. But anyway, so you have all those beautiful reeds, and they sound magnificent. I'd like to be able to demonstrate them, but right now, with the room being so cold and the humidification system turned off, the organ's probably going to be pretty cranky. And with all the noise out there, not so good anyway. And there is the bottom of the French horn, which was also one of the high pressure reeds. And then if we come around here and look down, we can see the rest of the orchestral reeds on that chest, with the French horn kind of in the middle there. And of course we have our fun little Canura, but he was already here for a while. So anyway, high pressure reeds back in, sounding glorious, which will be the subject of a future video by HORC. So let's head into the main chamber for some more. Up here in the Great Division, voices numbers 21 and 22, this chest right here has been taken down, rebuilt, pipes restored, and put back. And get a little view, I guess it'll be upside down, but you can read 32-foot sub-principal, 36 off, scale 50, voice 21, and then that just has voice 22. Now, these ranks are particularly important. I'll say this is, the front rank, number 22, is double diapason 1, and the one in back is actually the 32-foot sub-principal unit. But I'm on the second level of the swell of the grate here, sorry, and these are what are used as tuning stops. So when tuning is done here, a temperament will be set and the basic pitch is set on one of these 2 ranks, because they're loud enough and they're in the right position that you can hear them throughout the chamber very well, and so these are what are used as reference. And when the chest does not work well, when you have dead notes and problems, it's a real pain in the neck. And so having this all taken care of is going to make tuning a lot easier. I haven't done a lot of tuning here, but I have used this one before, and when you run into dead notes, it's a real problem. So this has been restored, and that's going to make tuning a lot easier. So 21 and 22 fixed up. Now let's go to the solo. Up here in the upper level of the solo division, if you remember that video from January, the high pressure chest in the front of the chamber was out for service. The toe boards were all leaning up against the lumber racks and stuff, and here it is. It's all done. And this only has just been finished for about a couple of weeks. I don't remember exactly. But what you have here in the back is the 100-inch pressure Tuba Imperial, that's right. I can't keep them straight. And then the 50-inch pressure Bugle, which is the brass one, and then the 50-inch pressure Tuba Magna in front. The chest has been taken apart and restored, pipes restored. You can see how beautiful everything looks down there. All the hold down wires, nice shining, and look at that lead. Good and thick. This one is a little bit trickier than some of the others because this chest originally was not going to be split pressure-wise because the front two ranks are on 50 and the back rank is on 100. So the chest is kind of isolated internally and uses the standard mid-Merloche system for valve actuation, where the other 100-inch stops use like a pallet valve, as I remember. And keeping those rocker arms and everything in place and working correctly on 100 inches of wind is no mean feat. The trebles of the Tuba Magna are still having some voicing work done, so they're down where Brant Duddy usually works. They're not in here right now. So high pressure reeds, solo high pressure reeds, good to go. Up here on level 4 of the grate, which if you look across there, you see that chest in the center of the frame. That's our old friend, the Grand Cornet, 11 ranks, which is happy as a clam, making lots of noise. But then you pan down here and his next door neighbor is out being restored right now. And this is the chest that has the furniture 6 ranks. Let's see, tilting my camera to get little viewfinder shot correct. And there are some other ranks on here. I'm looking at Stephen Smith's book as I say this. Furniture 6, gross tiers 3 and okay, so its voice numbers 52, 42, 31, 39, 29, and 25. I think are all on this chest here. I'm really looking forward to having this one back in particular because, as was stated in the issue of the Grand Ophiclyde, this mixture is kind of the standard bearer in the grate, and the chest has had problems for years and years, and getting it all restored and fixed up so it's on the level of everything else is going to be really nice. So that's going on right now. I think the pipes for the furniture are all done in the voicing room. I'm not sure about the rest of it, but that is currently in process right now. So last up, gallery 2 behind me over there, all the offset chests for that division have been restored and put in storage. The main manual chest was so water damaged that it's not going to be rebuildable, but what they're doing is blueprinting it out and transferring all the measurements into a CAD program, actually copying things and scanning it and whatever they do, so that it can be replicated with CNC routing to make a new chest to the old pattern. Because I saw it, and it's on one of my earlier videos of the Right Side Chambers tour. I think at one point it literally had mushrooms growing out of it, and that one's not going to be salvageable. So the main manual chest is going to have to be rebuilt from the ground up completely, and that's going to take a while. So that's going to be a while. The wooden pipes, which have been damaged, being restored by Pat Murphy. I think they're almost done or done at this point, but that one's gonna have to wait a little bit. The other thing is, I'm sure you're probably wondering about the Echo blower that runs all of this. They are still waiting on the fan blades to be manufactured. They have not been delivered yet, and until they are, there's only so much they can do rebuilding the box of the blower, but until the fans arrive, then there's no point in assembling it, because the new fans are going to be able to put out more wind, and they're lighter and better balanced and everything than the originals. So that's just in a holding pattern for now. But that's it as far as updates I can think of. I consulted with the group over here, and that's a pretty good synopsis of what's gone on since January. So I'll leave it at that. There's another video coming this afternoon, hopefully. And I had to move the camera up here by this chamber just to get a shot in this incredible light. And as I close out the video, I'm going to turn the camera around, and you can see why the light is so good. One giant diffuse source of white light down there as they're making the ice rink. Beautiful. They should hire people for portraits, you know, while this is all set up. So on October 28th, 2025, from Boardwalk Hall, over and out.